Hey boys, welcome back to the channel where we are going to be going over the round 14 preview in Supercoach, and it's a tricky week. Now, it's sometimes more difficult than the actual bye weeks themselves, just because there's no certainty for who's going to back up and who's not, and it's usually safe to assume that majority of the stars, the starting players especially, will not back up. But you never know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So it's a little bit tricky. Now, I've already made 2 trades, but there's another trade that I'm pretty much going to do, and especially with the latest news I've just seen, and that is going to be Ezra Mam in for, I'm not sure who yet, but I'm bringing in Mam. Unfortunately for Gamble, it got reported, like literally I just saw it then, that he has a lower leg stress if I can speak, stress fracture in his lower leg, which I was saying, and yeah, so that will put him out for, well, it could be ages. And Ezra, he's looked really good. And honestly, if the combo of him and Reynolds shines, if they start playing pretty well together, then it's going to be tough for Gamble to sort of retake that position, I would say. Even though Gamble has been fantastic, like I'll sing the praises of Gamble at all opportunities. I think he's been amazing for the Broncos. For honestly, last year as well, I thought he was great. But yeah, disappointing for Gamble, but it does mean Ezra he's a great cheapie to bring in. He'll more than likely now play round 17, and he's got some pedigree to him. So the question is, who do I trade out? Now, as you can see, my halves are stacked, but what we can do is swing Hines back to fullback, and I either trade out, I've got options. Obviously, Manu and Garrick, I'm not going to trade out. They're fullback duels, so I could, but I'm not going to. I mean, the Galaxy brain, take Manu's 130 and then just trade him out, but no, we're not going to do that, because surely, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Does Tedesco back up? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Tedesco in the past has backed up, but I mean, the fact Manu is there, surely they rest Tedesco, and it's against the Storm, which, I mean, I don't know. There's 2 ways to look at it, right? It's one of the toughest games of the year, so you want your best players, but the flip side, it's one of the toughest games of the year, and maybe you rest your Origin players. I don't know what the Storm are going to do either. But so Manu and Garrick not trading. It's either Cooler or maybe Sawali. Now, I think, well, I know for a fact that Cooler is obviously the better trade out for point scoring. Sawali definitely has some scores in him, but he's also 100k more, so this trade will bank me either 100 or 200k to use for an upgrade of a Pappenhausen. And I guess that's sort of the thinking, right? For the distant future, we bring in Mam for either Cooler or Sawali, and then when Pappenhausen is back, we make the funds to bring in Pappenhausen for either Cooler or Sawali, the guy that we didn't trade. Now, that's going to be tough, because Pappenhausen is still 900k, so maybe we do end up trading out Manu at that point. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not decided yet, but yeah, I'm not. It's a tricky one. Because obviously the Roosters are taking on, like I said, the Storm, who aren't, I mean, the Storm haven't been a defensive powerhouse of late, especially out wide. So I'm not necessarily that opposed to Sawali scoring some points, and he's got good base. I mean, he did score a try last week to bump up his points, but he's got good tackle breaking. He makes a lot of carries. Not Daniel Tupou-esque, but it's pretty solid. But then the Manly side are taking on the Tigers, and I just feel like Cooler is so close to getting a big score that I'm not sure. I don't know who to trade out. My gut is telling me Cooler, because I just think Sawali is just a good play. But then on the other flip side is that I don't really need to play Suwali because my backline, Garrick, Tago, May, and Sivo, I mean, they're pretty much locked in. The only issue is that if I'm missing my Origin players, but I've got cover, I'm not playing Elliott at the moment. I'm not playing Pengai Jr. at the moment, so I've got the cover. So I'm oh god, it's a tough choice. It's a tough choice. You know what? As it is right now, I'm going to get rid of Cooler. My gut. Do I? I mean, Cooler has looked so good in a couple of games, but just the points just have not. They just haven't come. I actually was shocked that he only scored 42 last week. I thought that was like a 50-plus game. It looked like he made a couple of line breaks. He was tackle breaking. I was a little shocked that he only got the 42, but I don't know. He just hasn't been... The points haven't been there, even when he's looked good. So I feel Cooler is the way to go, and Suwali's just a good play. Maybe not a keeper, but potentially a keeper. That's the thing. So I think this is what we do, and then trade out... Oh, no, don't do that. What are you doing? Trade out... we got to use our trade boost. I think this is our final trade boost, which is fine. Honestly, the trade boosts, they've been good for me. But during the buys, you get an extra trade anyway, so it's not an issue, honestly. So trade out Cooler. Swing... If it loads. Supercoach sometimes is a little bit sluggish, probably because so many people are trying to do their trades. Oh my god, what the hell did I just do? No. I don't know, I was freaking out like I couldn't reverse it. Please, Hines, come back to me. There we go. Trade out Cooler, and then we switch Hines to fullback. Okay, we're back. It sort of froze for a second there, but yeah, we swung Hines to fullback. Ezra, bottom dollar, 175k, which is beautiful. He's played 2 games. He's averaging 85. Like, I'm not expecting 80s every week, but he's got a Supercoach friendly game. He's he runs the footy a lot. Honestly, for a little guy, he's pretty strong defensively. Makes quite a few tackles. And he's just got that X factor about him that he's going to have points scored around him and through him. So Ezra comes in as just a really good cheapie. And the fact that Gamble is now suffering a serious injury, it's not good, but it's very, very, it's very handy. That is without question. So at the moment, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting rid of Cooler. I just think there's more with Suwali. I just think there's more on offer, and it does have more cover, without doubt. And I guess the only another issue now is that do I play Suwali over a Tago or a Taylor May this week? Who are they? Oh, they're taking on the Newcastle Knights, so probably not. But this is looking like this looks a pretty strong team. I gotta be honest. But let's have, so yeah, 15 trades left. We now have 405k. So like I said, Papenhuyzen is about 900,000, a bit over 900,000. So if we're going to be trading out, if we trade out Manu in a couple of weeks when Papenhuyzen is back, honestly, I don't hate that. Because Manu, I don't know. I don't hate that, because Manu obviously is going to go back to centre after Origin, and Roosters don't play the second bye, obviously. So I don't hate that, and I'll easily have enough cash then to trade him out. Or if we go Suwali, if Suwali can bang out a couple of decent games and get up 100k, then I could do it, or we'll just have to make a little bit of cash. But I'm thinking maybe Manu is the trade out in a couple of weeks. But yeah, it's a pretty good team on paper. But let's go through the team at who potentially is not going to back up. So Harry Grant first. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's a couple of things. Grant didn't play huge minutes, but again, like it's Origin, playing through the middle. He made plenty of tackles while he was on, like it was tough. And the fact that they've got Brandon Smith there as the cover at hooker, does Grant play? I'm not too sure. But the other factor here is that the Storm haven't been that great over the last little bit. They're taking on the Roosters. They're obviously heavy favourites, but the Roosters they're going to be a tough game. If the Roosters come out firing, they are still one of the better teams in the comp. So it's a game that Bellamy would definitely want to win. And at the end of the day, Grant is, he's going to help them win. So is Grant back up? I hope. I mean, this is where this is sort of the conundrum for me, because part of me is I hope Grant doesn't play because I've got Brandon Smith. Brandon Smith will just play number 9 big minutes. But the fact that a lot of people traded out Grant means that he's a bit of a pod now if he does play, but that also means Brandon Smith isn't quite as valuable. So I don't know. Honestly, I would take him not playing, because I've got the cover for him. He won't lose any cash, and then Brandon Smith is a good play. So hopefully Grant doesn't back up. Honestly, I don't mind. I don't mind if he doesn't. The front row forward, we're fine. Papali'i, Tamalolo, Pengai is hopefully back. Although, I mean, if Grant is ruled out, then Pengai is a beautiful little play here, because I can just put the reserve on Pengai instead of Grant. It'd be lovely. Or even Max King getting 50 points is not bad. The back row is fine. No issues in the back row at all. The halves, obviously Cleary. Now, this one's a weird one, because I feel like there's no reason for him to play, because the young fella Falls played pretty well. The Panthers won against the Dogs. They take on the Knights, who are not good, and the Panthers will probably win this game as well. So there's no reason to play Cleary, but he had a shocking game. So I don't know. Part of me is maybe he just want to just come back and play this game to get a little bit of, get the confidence back slightly, get some winning form back under the belt. I don't know. I'm sort of 95% sure he won't play, but I don't know. I'm hoping he does, because he's a lovely vice captain option. But honestly, Vice, I don't think I can even loop. I don't think I can even loop if he goes off. That's the bad thing. All my players play apart from Ben Trebojevic, and he plays earlier than Cleary. So honestly, we're stuffed. We're a bit stuffed. Or no, even Munster, if he doesn't back up, we're stuffed there anyway. But whatever. Regardless, we'll see with Cleary. If not, then I can just hopefully there's a definite, and I'm sure that there will be before the Broncos game on Saturday. Surely they'll have some mail if he's going to back up or not. So if he doesn't back up, then we just play Ezra, which is a good replacement. Obviously, Cameron Munster, I don't expect to back up. I mean, he had a big game. I feel like Munster in the past has sort of backed up when Grant gets rested. Munster just, I don't know. He puts in so much work, but he doesn't. He just doesn't get busted up. I don't know. But him and Grant, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Bellamy's gonna do with these two boys. I feel like they're both gonna get a rest. And again, doesn't really matter. And it actually works out nice, because if he doesn't play, we can either we'll probably play Sawali, or we can play the absolute gun in Adam Elliott, because I've got Elliott here, who I want to play Elliott, but I've got too many options at the moment. it's a good predicament to be in. The outside backs are totally fine. Like I said, well, the video before, I brought in Micah Sivo, which I'm pretty happy about. I feel like against the Doggies, there's no certainty he's going to cross for any tries this week, but I feel like in a couple of weeks, surely he's got a couple of tries in him. So Sivo, and I just love to watch Sivo, so it's nice to have him in the team. It just looks good to have him here. And then the fullbacks are fine. Obviously, Hines is going to be probably the most viable captain option, just because of the uncertainty around some of the other guys in the squads. Hines should have a big game against the Warriors. You would expect anyway. So that's the other factor. Who do we play as our reserves? I mean, honestly, what am I doing here? Elliott should definitely start over Butcher. And then I guess it just comes down to, do I play Butcher as a reserve? Depending. If Munster and Cleary don't back up, and Grant, they're sort of my only guys. So honestly, I'm doing pretty well in terms of like Origin backup and availability. So I'm happy with the team at the moment. I'm hoping Elliott continues the big minutes, and again, because Papali'i is coming back from Origin, even though he didn't play big minutes, but I feel like there's no reason Ricky Stewart would sort of overwork Papali'i. Let the big fella have a spell, because they got plenty of forwards, and they're taking on my Broncos. So I think Elliott's a pretty good play. I mean, if he gets the minutes, dude, he's an absolute. He's a keeper almost. Because let's have a look at when I brought him in, because it seems like he's been a little bit disappointing at times, but honestly the scores have been pretty good regardless, because I brought him in when did I bring him in? I think I brought him in after the Panthers game when he was just over 300. Did I get the 104 from him? I'm not too sure, but he's gone 104, 57, 52, 45, 99. And I mean, he's just going, the PPM has been insane. So if he keeps up that, where are the minutes? Am I going crazy? Yeah, minutes here. If he gets those 60 odd minutes, killing it. But yeah, that's how the team is shaping up. Keep an eye on late mail, and the one trick, if you can sort of help it, I guess, is keep most of your Origin players not starting, because you could find yourself getting trapped and not being able to like switch them out. But yeah, I think most people's teams, they're not going to have too many Origin players, because I feel like most of the guns don't play Origin. I mean, there's definitely a lot of guns in Origin, but I guess probably one of the big ones is Ruben Cotter. A lot of people jumped on him, and I wish I was one of them ages ago. But surely he doesn't back up, right? Surely Cotter doesn't back up. He played goddamn 80 minutes in the middle, but he's a freak, so maybe he does. But yeah, keep an eye on late mail. Watch Twitter. They always give sort of the updates. But yeah, not too much else to really go through. I'll do another video later, sort of discussing sort of round 17 second bye week targets and whatnot. But yeah, just a short little update. Ended up using the final trade boost. 15 trades left, 4 back in the kitty. And yeah, it's looking pretty sharp. And honestly, the one other thing I'll mention, if we don't end up like trading Manu and we want to get rid of Sawali instead, I could honestly do that fairly comfortably, because my front row, I've got heaps of dollars in the front row. Like Max King, he's going to get up to that like 400 plus range where he'll max out again, and then we can get rid of him and honestly nuff him into another front row option at some point, because you don't need. It's nice to have the depth, but there is a point where having a couple of nuffs is nice, because of being able to loop and just to get money. So we can nuff out King at some point, get a couple of 100K there, and then we can easily go up to, Swiley up to Pappenhausen. But depending when Pappy's back, I think around 15 they're thinking, but he should be back for around 17. So we'll see. We'll see how we go, because I think people saying round 15, and they're taking on the Broncos, which is usually the Storm just love beating the Broncos. So probably a game you want to have Pappenhausen. But hopefully you guys are enjoying the Supercoach content. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.